accusations, and let's talk.
Hey everyone, we're back with Tomalthouse and Chad Cooper. And today we have so many subjects to talk about. We're gonna talk about the FEMA money that is coming from somewhere that I'll talk about first, about the children, about fake remote viewers and fake channelers. So here we go. I'm gonna start right now. So I have a very close friend that I cannot say her name. Okay. She told me last week that she has a job that she works from home. And of course, there is a corporation here set up in Tucson that gets money from FEMA. Okay. They get money from FEMA to, and it's through the C word. So they get to say who comes to the United States and who doesn't. Okay. So they do screenings and things like that. And, so these children come through and with parents. And she says, Veronica, if they were their true parents, they wouldn't be so scared of the mother and the father. Veronica, they don't even know their history, their medical history. And this is a corporation that's in Hawaii, getting people through here. She says, do you know they have a lot of men that come from Africa, Russia, China, through the borders, Mexicans and Arabs. And she said, because she was telling me that somebody was upset with her because all the Mexicans, they just come here. And she stopped them right there. And she said, most of the Mexicans that come to work and then send money back to their family. The rest, they go everywhere. And I know through experience from a DARPA agent that they train people from Afghanistan all over the freaking world. They train here in the United States, okay, to join the military. And she told me the first thing they do, sorry, my dog, the first thing they do is they give their ID, they drop it off at the border and say, this is going to be my name now. You think that the kids are being saved and rescued through the Freedom Act? I told you guys. Not you guys already knew, but I told the public, I told my closest friends that I thought were my friends, look, this is the controlled opposition. Wake up. And there we have it. So these kids are being still trafficked to this day.
And that's one of the main tactics they use, Veronica, and we know is that they'll claim the kids have been saved, but they don't show you the footage. They don't show you the kids. They don't give the testimonies. They don't show them. Where's all those kids that were claimed in Sound of Freedom? Where? Show us they're safe, but they don't, do they? And the worst thing we can do to those kids is claim that they've been rescued when they're not rescued. And that is exactly what's going on. It's a way to shut the lid for the pedophiles. It's a way to close the story, close the book on it when they're not rescued yet. That's the most horrendous thing that can be done to little lives that need to be rescued, is claim that they've already been rescued, nothing to see here, go back home. Don't try to help.
Right. And the people, thank you, Tom. And the people that have this C word, guess what they do? They put them at the Red Roof Inn for 5 days, and then they're free to go anywhere in the United States. Anywhere outside of the United States. They're free to go with false names. Where do you think the military gets their people? Where do you think the alphabet soups, CIA undercover projects, Project Umbrella, all these get the men and the women, mostly men. They're mostly men, she said. And she said, Veronica, they're so disrespectful to women, especially. They're pretty much, most of them are criminals that come in here from another country seeking asylum. Why do you think they're seeking asylum?
That's the interesting thing too.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, look what's happened now. It goes along with what you're saying exactly. I might sneeze here, but 1 second. They just released on, you can watch it on YouTube or Netflix or something, where it's like Hunting Hitler. What has the CIA now released to the public? And now they did a documentary where their CIA personnel are the ones doing the documentary. And what are they saying? Oh yeah, we had these documents all along, that the Red Cross gave new identities and passports to hundreds and hundreds of high-level Nazis with the Vatican's blessing, because they're going to be fighting communism. And so we gave them all this stuff. The Red Cross, through the agency's blessings, did this. with a bigger Operation Paperclip than we've ever seen before. And so what happens is Hitler was also channeled through. They're now showing Hitler was brought through, as we said. He went to Berchtesgaden with his SS there, where he was prepared for the end there to be brought in by our government. And he was. Everything that's in the screenplay came true. And it's like, so now we see what they do. They absolved them of their crimes. It was like a Henry Ford processing plant, assembly line. They go down to Rome, and the Vatican gives them absolution. There's a book they showed in that, Hunting Hitler. The CIA shows it, their operatives, where each of them signed off with a absolution thing by the church, and then the Red Cross gave them new papers, and off they go. It's like unbelievable that's exactly what's going on now. So it is a playbook by the agencies. And they'll use whatever, yeah.
Thank you, Tom. It makes me feel, guys, like Chad and Tom, that they're also changing their blood type on paper, and giving them whatever they want. Now Hitler was, he only used Ford vehicles. So there's something going on with Ford and Hitler and the Nazis and Germans and the scientists. A lot of the scientists were given other names to protect their family. And some even were from the Jewish bloodline. What's going on over here with the Jewish people over there? A lot of people are like, well, it says in the Bible that it's a protective, place, and we should protect them. Like, really? Do you guys not remember the massacre in World War I that the Jews killed a bunch of Russians? Didn't even barely maybe left a few men alive in World War I, and now you guys want me to feel sorry for them? I don't feel sorry for any killers. I'm sorry, I just don't. Sorry,
yeah, I mean, the whole narrative has been switched and changed. I mean, look at myself, Swiss German roots, royalty, right? Have Jewish bloodlines back to David, the David bloodline. So Swiss royalty, and that's something they really like, right? That's why they never stopped with me. And the accusation is, oh, Tom was groomed on the inside. I say that. I say, yes, I was groomed on the inside to lead. I was groomed on the inside to lead. Why would I be saying that if I was like, they would not have me say that to the public. But I was, and I said, no, I'm not going to harm. I'm going to do good. I'm going to try to change this all. And so when you got people like ourselves that were on the inside saying, we want good to happen. We want to turn this around. That's what I put into the Matrix story. Neo is trying to do good. They called Neo Thomas A. Trying to do good. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to beat the system I was groomed for, to turn it around so that people are saved, that all lives matter. That's what now they can use that card being played. But yes, they do look at the bloodlines. They look at what and they have these poster children, basically. It's like Lebensborn, and you're brought in. But if Lebensborn say, no, the world people have value, all life matters, they got a problem. Because now you got insiders saying, we're not going to play this game. No matter what you crafted me to be, I'm going to do good. Now our biggest problem is the public going, being fooled into thinking, well, he's groomed by the inside. That could be a good thing if we're working for you. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, they're the red pill and blue pill thing. I want to get into that one too, because there is I don't know if you want to name names, Chad, but there's this one lady about a year and a half ago when I had my meet and greet. She said, hey, look at this Akura channeler with big blue eyes, and she shaved her head, and now she's trying to take credit for your stuff, for the blue pill, that's saying that something's wrong and that she was so scared. So these people with the largest, subscribers for a reason, they're trying to tackle you, and they're trying to say that you're wrong, and they're trying to steal your work. And I don't think that's right. And we do have fake channelers, because anybody can channel, anybody can make stuff up, anybody can remote view. If you just quiet down, you can use your mind to find out the truth. But what happens is they want to be popular, because the whole thing of what you wrote, The Matrix, is so popular. Look, they want to take it from you, and I just don't agree with that. So if you guys have
I want to say something, definitely, because that's the one party that really pissed me off. When I saw that, I'm like, it took forever to get this right, and only the author knows what was intended for the blue and the red pills. wouldn't the author have the final say on if the blue pill was meant to be good or bad? It's the author of the piece. That's like saying Charles Dickens, that they're channeling at Charles Dickens, in hard times, that the kids were actually bad. And I had nightmares about the kids and they were actually bad. Charles Dickens is the one that wrote it. He would know if the kids were bad in his story when you're in the story, which they said they put me in my own story. So the blue pill is the good pill in the original story, and that upsets the cabal. So when someone comes along and says, as Sophia Stewart is now saying, the red pill's the good pill based on the blood of the children, or the blue pill scared me because the blue pill's bad, then you're false. You're false because only the author knows, and that's a copyright sealed and everything stamped, can't be debated. This original work, which is the author's, the blue is the good pill, and it's trying to help save kids. So if someone comes along seeking attention with big eyes and a shaved head for theatrics, my God, that's an insult to everybody that was in the camps. To fake, you didn't suffer, this Hukira, whoever, you didn't suffer in the camps. I am pissed at her. She didn't suffer as a, stop looking like it when you didn't go through it,
So Akura is Akura is Akura, so no one's confused. And the side of her face makes me puke too. I'm very psychic, very intuitive. If something repulses me, something's wrong with it.
Right.
Every time I see her face in a photo, I get instantly infuriated. She just offends me with the way she looks at the camera, let alone with the way she speaks. And she's not alone. There's a Lori Ladd out there. There's a Feel Good. There's a Magenta Pixie. There's a JCK. JCK has a pendulum, right? And she was sitting there doing all these readings during the Trump thing and all this stuff. These people are all trained. They're all part of the same. They're all part of the same camp.
Especially
because JCK contacted me. JCK contacted me and talked to me for like 45 minutes after I was on the Mark Atwood show, and I didn't know who she was. And she contacted me and she went on and on and on and on like it was a date. And it's just like, Tom, oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking to you. I'm in the car having this woman talk to me that I don't even know. And I thought, oh my God, then she's saying about
an actress,
program.
that's who she
I
is.
never heard from her again. But she took up 45 minutes of my time praising me, talking me up after I was on the Mark Atwood show. And it was like, where'd she go? It was like a hit and run.
She made her own thing that she could use her pendulum swinging thing with, and she was attuned to it so she could read and give everybody direct answers. She had her yes and her no right across from each other. So I text her in a message and I'm like, how can you tell what is yes and no if the pendulum swings back and forth and you got them directly across from each other? And the next thing I noticed, she switched it in the next video. She had it moved. She didn't comment on anything that I said. So it's just, but she's one of those that there's a specific training that goes on. I have a friend, okay, she comes from one of these families. She lived in the highest house in Park City, Utah. The one, her mom had to have the one highest on the hill. I'm being serious. Her brother traded arms. Was one of the four, she's one of those families, and she was rebelling and working with me as a waiter. I did the Sundance Festival, and I was doing the VIP lounge in the VIP section or something in there. And she was working in there with me. Her and I were friends. I gave her a ride home and stuff like that. But really sweet girl, very spiritual and stuff like that. Had to work for a living because her family cut her off because she didn't want to go to college. After watching her go to college, she shifted. She changed everything in her. There was some kind of programming breaking, and I can see it. And then she went on this whole mission of traveling around the world and creating this whole world around herself, to pull people in like she was some sort of like, almost like Paris Hilton, just like, I'm too cool for school, and follow me for. So these people, I get a sense, the rich people, they're not like us, right? They're different. They have a different way of thinking. But these are the people we're dealing with, these JCK, these are the people that have been trained by them to come into these worlds and infiltrate. And the Akuras too. I do believe she has something in her ear. I do believe she's getting some kind of transmission, but from what? Not anything I would trust.
Chad, I just see disgenuine, very disgenuine. I don't see anything genuine about her. And that's what made me angry. Not only that she has no right to claim what the author intended. She has no right to claim when my boys died over this stuff. to get on
Mhm.
there as if she's some poor victim seeking attention.
Yeah.
Oh
So
man.
so it gets confusing
Sorry.
because now there's an awakening going on and everything gets infiltrated. So these people have infiltrated, let's say, the psychic world. You know, that's where it became very confusing. And then they infiltrated the SSP world. Then they also have them educated. They infiltrated our judicial systems, you know, so they got all their nest there. They got them infiltrated in every single thing you can think of, especially our universities and our colleges. You know, everything is infiltrated, and it's all done by design. And so I get upset because I want to talk about a group, and it's this group called the Royal Path, and I have watched this wonderful conversation. Love to listen to them. Highly recommend anybody go to their platform and watch the Royal Path with Father Turbo. And the episode I watched was called Temples Made from Hands. Okay, and they were talking about some really lovely stuff in there, and he was saying for himself, and it was on a very real level, he's saying the state to me is a fallen entity. We need to turn to the community. And to me, that's with the church, is what he was referring to. Mm-hmm. So it needs to begin with the church, because why turn to the state? We can't. It's infiltrated. It's a fallen entity. And that's what he sees it as. So we need to go to the community, and what better place to do that than the church? You know, couldn't agree with him more. So now listening to a conversation like that, I'm torn, because as people know, I'm a Sigma. So I'm 1 in 100. I'm already separate than the group. I'm a male. That makes me 1 in 200, because, you know, there's female Sigmas out there. I'm gay. That makes me 1 in 10. I get so, you know, there's very few people like me on this planet. I don't get to go fit in my community or any other community, so I watch everybody's community separately. Now, this guy is suggesting that we need a base, a core to start from as humanity. You know, a traditional base, like it's okay if God speaks to you individually and you get your own messages, but we need a base one that refers to everybody and is inclusive to everybody, right? So I understand there's other reasons why the church ostracizes the gay community, the LGBTQ community. My point is that group was infiltrated too, just like Black Lives Matter was infiltrated. You know, started out like we discussed last time with Black people that cared a lot about Black people, and then it got taken. They were murdered or killed or accidentally or suicide, you want to call it, and Black lesbians took it over, and now it's, you know, it's been infiltrated. Everything's been infiltrated and now weaponized. You know, like, and it's frustrating because, like, I want to listen to this church group and talk about creating this traditional community, this core base, but how can I when I'm ostracized from it? You know, I'm not. It's okay for me to go into it. They're okay with me going into it because I'm celibate. And I've been single for 10 years, so I can walk into a church and they're perfectly good with that. But what if I want to date? You know, then it's not okay anymore. And so when we're talking about, like, what does this look like? You know, this core thing that we're all going to be part of. I would like to open up the discussion. I can change it from here, because that's pretty much the point I wanted to make, is that infiltration runs deep. It runs in all levels and all layers. And I don't want to be, you know, I'm attacked the LGBT community, because let's look at what happened there. You know, they were lied to about their history, about Greece, and Greece wasn't what we were told. They were lied to about their history, and then they were given will and grace. You know, it destroyed our community, and just kind of like Sex and the City destroyed New York City. You know, with the women and stuff like there. It's just they did that infiltration. So the flag, from what I understood, the rainbow flag that people get upset about being taken and everything, was including everybody, straight, gay, bi. It doesn't matter who you are. It's all colors of the rainbow, and we're all included. Well, now it's been divided up into other colors by this woke group. This is part of the war, you know, because that's, what does that do? It doesn't make it all inclusive. It makes it segregating. So yeah, I get why everybody's hating the community now. However, why are we hating the communities when it was infiltrated by, let's fight the real enemy. Everything was infiltrated.
Exactly. And it's like, look what they're doing with ourselves, with us, just us. They're trying to make me into a evil guy who was groomed by them, and therefore, they say if they make you, they can break you. And it's like like your property to be molded, yielded, whatever you want. And now they got people coming on to say, come home, come home. The public's not worth it. It's like we need to be all inclusive. We need to be no longer divided. And it's like we can't let them play their games on us where they're making it like generalities of divided against each other. Who was it that took my work? The Warner Brothers had an agenda to push this transgender thing. And it's like, so they had these guys have to act like they're transgendered that took my work. And so it's like, I'm just so, excuse me, I've been really hit lately. You can see my face.
Salud, peseta y amor.
But, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying salud, peseta y amor to you. So
oh.
No, real quick, what I was gonna say is and I know I talk about it a lot, but that's one of the hugest main reason why I got out of the super soldier community, because they were taking my work and then, or my visions and my, remote viewing and my dreams, and they were using it for them, and then they were changing it, and then they were adding stuff. They only were using me to siphon my energy for me to remote view their stuff, their past life, and it goes on and on. And then they stab you in the back, and they just want somebody to, I'm going to use, they just want somebody to say, oh, hey, feel sorry for me. Come on, come with my group. You're so psychic and special. You can help all this group, right? And then after they're done with you, they're like, oh, she was nothing but a crazy person or enemy, or she was, blah, 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 whatever they want to say. That's why I made the video. It's nefarious things or activity happening within the secret space program, super soldiers. And I'm done with that.
Well, I understand. That's exactly how they do it. They come in, praise you to death. Like this one, I just got a call from one of the members of the Q group, right? And I'm told that they're all in disarray. Now there's just like a core of the Q group. I started speaking out against the Q group, what happened to me, because they were working the documentary, right? And then this one guy he played us for 3 years and then pulled the rug. And now he's saying all the bad stuff after saying like it was like a brother, and just they always say that they're a brother to you and this kind of stuff. And you're like, this build you up to death, right? And bring you in and then do nothing, create no content, and then tear you down. Now I'm finding the FBI was deeply with the Q group. But the one guy named Austin is not, apparently. And he's been like, he had that viewpoint I had, which was accept everybody, don't make a judgment, accept everybody, which is not, I've learned now too, is not the way to go anymore. I get that. You really have to be discerning and smart with who you circle yourself with and who you, it's like, if I was deep state, I wouldn't be doing your program. That would be a really stupid move. There's rules in place that you don't. In fact, they tell you, you will not speak. I had a guy from Sony who's deep state who said that he's really in the deep, with the guys. And he said that, Tom, you're getting too many views or you're getting onto too many programs now, higher level, and they don't like it. I'm like, so what? So what? I'm going to be speaking the truth. And so that was really interesting, where I was allowed to speak as long as it didn't get too popular or too widespread. And they're calling me on it. Have they not been listening that I'm not going with the line of bringing people down and dividing, that I'm going to try to bring everybody together and do good for the world? Do they miss that somewhere? So it's like they still act like you're in their camp. Isn't that interesting? They still act like you're with them while they're putting you down.
Yeah,
it's all the control aspect.
Exactly. They're trying to reel you in, because that's what happened with me. I had maybe 3 friends left in the secret space community. And then they started with their shit, excuse my language, but they started, oh, did you hear this? Or guess what? You need to watch this and you need to listen to that. And I'm like, why? And then they started saying, oh, you're in my dreams, you're hurting my so-and-so, you're hurting me, or they're making all this stuff up. And I'm like, block. I don't need you to tell me that I'm in your dreams doing something wrong to you. That's bull. That's a lot of bull.
That's one of their cards, right, Veronica? What they do, Chad, guys, what they do is I have this group called the Immortals Remnant, right? This guy named Royce Babcock, and he claims to be Jesus Christ, and he works for the FBI. They use failed people that are psycho to be FBI operatives, and it works. It stirs the, they send in minions to come after you. And these guys are going to every host I know, every host possible, and saying, don't use him, he's evil. And I'm going to have clips from them where they said they're working for the FBI, and they're saying about how contact this person, see if you can use that on this, turn this person. That's their thing, is divide and conquer and turn everybody. And then they even say, the Immortals Remnant Group, this Royce Babcock, these guys are criminals. They said this, we channeled the work through you. That was my work channeled through you, Tom. Well, you didn't write it. You weren't the ones that got the inspiration. You weren't the ones that created this hard work. Yet all they have to say is, oh, we channeled it through you. We channeled. So the agencies are now using that claim that they channeled the work through us. I think that's a cheap shot. And that goes back to Akura, or whatever her name is. I would like to think, at the very least, she's just seeking attention and needy for attention. A wannabe, a mean girl, right? Who's playing a role and does it badly, by the way. When she does the big eye look, I mean, anybody can see right through that. This is an act. Love me, want me, get me. I'm so important. It's like a kid lying off the charts with the cocky. She didn't write this. And then what I do think, though, is there's a possibility that she is exactly what the FBI and CIA brings to bear to cause effects in the community. She's playing the role exactly like the they call themselves the Three Wise Men, and she's claiming my work. She's doing exactly what they want, and she's on the forefront, and she's getting views. So therefore, that tells me that I believe she's actually working with the agencies, because these guys brag about it. I wouldn't be surprised later she says it. Yeah, because she's very effective that way. And they even use like people that pose as homeless, often homeless. In fact, the Immortal Remnant, the guys claim to be homeless, whether they have a pool, being promised a home and all this other stuff. So I believe that this Akura, whatever her name is, I believe there's a good chance she's actually working for the FBI. And that's why they put on the costume. That's why they have the shaved head look and the acting that's just really bad. I believe that is a person meant to mislead the public, because she didn't write it either. And she's claiming about channeling. And that's what the FBI is having people claim now, is that they channeled the work. Give me a break.
And same thing with Phil Good. I contacted him and I said, hey, I would like to have you on my show because I don't agree with you with this, and that. And then the next thing I knew, there was an automatic thing that says, thank you for contacting blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, nah, this guy's not legit. When they have those automatic responses, they're basically like, if you want a reading, they'll have a computer give you a reading, or they'll hire somebody that has, the software, and then to man their readings, tarot readings. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Or star charts. You have to be very careful who you ask for readings, star charts, or readings with tarot, because they could be automatic.
And a lot of them have stopped giving readings and just started asking for donations. Oh, I'm too busy. I am too important. Can't do readings anymore. Sorry, but please send donations. Because they can't, people are starting to figure them out that they can't really read.
People like, I'll just say her first name, Vicky. I'm not going to say her last name, and her son, they were like, so they trolled me for us a lot, because Chad and I did a video, and he had a little bit of a ripped shirt, and she got mad at me. She's like, oh, I can't even see you or hear you. How could you? And we were friends. And it's like, okay. And then her and her son started trolling me on YouTube, saying your classes are fake. Your readings are fake. Everything about you is fake. And I'm like, well, then why did you come visit me all the time from out of town? Why was I so important to you? And all of a sudden I'm not. That's how people do it in this community. They want to be with the popular kids, but I wasn't even popular. You know how many times I've been infiltrated? And it's like, same thing with you, Tom. Now they want you to be on their side because they want you to agree with certain policies and things that are happening that are not happening. They're playing with the FBI CIA, whatever alphabet soup is trying to control them, whether by MK Ultra or V2K, baby. That's what all they're doing. And my thing to you both and to the whole world is be careful who your friends are and who you go
Yes.
online with and you listen to online. What memes do you see? What are you listening in the get out of the commercials, because those things are meant to control the public.
That's
So-
right. Well, that's why they're setting up impromptu meetings. They're actually setting up impromptu meetings where you walk into a restaurant and these other people are there and you're seen together, there's pictures taken. It's like guilty by association. And right now, the big thing is they couldn't beat us, right? So now they're trying to make it look like I'm with the other side. But why would I have spent 30 some years with my son's murdered, and I'm doing it in their memory? Why would I be joining the other side when all this time I spent? That would be a pretty stupid move. Rewards are not that they're trying to offer. And why would I be still speaking? So they're actually trying to cut shows being done now, like Contact hosts all the time, to make it look like I received rewards. And Sophia Stewart was trying that too, trying to say, oh, Tom was on the set. Tom's getting all rewards. Tom's bought. It's like, no, I'm not bought. It's like I said to her, show me the money. I'm not bought. If I was bought, you'd see me walking around with the returns that they've been promising and offering, which I said no to. And that's what's frustrating is we say no, right? We say, no, we're not going to receive this stuff. We go on and then we're accused of having received it. It's like, my God, that's why I have the shield up back here. I got this shield to represent, I think that's what we need to be doing, is focusing on making a shield for all of us that are targeted and under attack and not being divided. We need to be shielding together. And that goes back to, that's ancient Greece, modeled after ancient Greece, like you said. And
it's real hard for us to be together because we're so separated. I just got done explaining how different I am from the rest of the world. 1 in 100, 1 in 10, and all that good stuff like
Right.
that. How I can't go into the church, even though the church is the one wanting to create the traditional community. They're going to reject me, in that sense. But it's interesting because I get to write the script that glues everybody together. I'm the guy that isn't accepted by them. I get to talk to them all, but I get to write the script and I don't know the answer, but I get to inspire the question that comes that inspires the answer to come forth from whatever youth is being raised in this,
right.
as to who we are and how we can create that one because we're all different, so we have to figure out how to live together and be different,
Right.
not live together and be the same. And what I see too is, if you think about it, there's a left brain and a right brain, and it seems like that's the way things are divided right now, and you either got to be good or you're bad, and I feel like we're both. So and the good people want to reject the bad side of us and ignore it, and it's like, no, we got to learn to balance that and just walk right down the middle, and connect to everything. So
that's the image I get, Chad, is this. Here's my core. I see we walk through this, we do it right, we have no regrets, we stood firm, we didn't compromise. At the end, we look at each other and say, I am honored to be your friend. I'm honored we walked through this. In Game of Thrones, they're illustrating, as I'm researching all the stuff that they said that, it was done by HBO, Warner Bros. They stuck all this stuff in there. They put all my stuff in it. All my stuff's in there, including my birthmark, like I said. I'm at the point now researching through where you have the Lannisters and the Tullys and everybody working together against the Night King. And that's what I see. I see us all making it through. And at the end, we look at each other when we get through all this and go, Chad, I'm so honored, Veronica, I'm so honored that I'm your friend and that we got through this. Even if we're different in different ways, we did this together. And that makes it even more special and brilliant that we were friends through it all. And I like that. That core is that's one of the themes in the piece, friendship.
Can I say something that'll point it out to make it real? Okay, so I know you have a friend named Jeff on
he doesn't talk
Good
to me
Morning,
right on radio.
Right on radio and
He doesn't
stuff like
talk
that
to me.
because
He never talks to me. He doesn't talk
I
to
used
me.
to watch him and Jessie together on that show, and he made a comment one day that gays were demonically possessed, and so I was like, well, okay, we need to work on getting them possessed or something. And I'm like, okay, we're 1/10 of the population. Because I
You're
had to write
definitely
him, and I
not
said,
demonically possessed.
and I'm like, okay, there's also black people that are 1/10 of the population, and I'm like, are they demonically possessed too? He said, you can't call them demonically possessed, but you can call us that. And I said, and it's in animals too. It shows up in the population. It's just a natural balance that happens. I don't believe we're supposed to congregate together, but I do believe it's a natural thing that happens throughout, in nature and stuff. And he said there was 2 negative comments made yesterday about the show, and he commented on one of them, but not on mine. He just so and then and I remember watching that show because it was like Jessie was on there too, and I'd just gotten her book, and I was like, okay, and went straight into the trash because she didn't disagree with them. And I'm like, okay, here's these people. I'm so excited. I met them. They're talking about God and all these beautiful things and everything that I want to accomplish. And then all of a sudden they exclude me.
I know. I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry that was said. I didn't realize that it was said.
Because I do agree with them that there is a lot of demonic possession within our community, and it's within every community. That's what people need to work on getting rid of is those things. But I'm not demonically possessed. That's not what makes me who I am. I'm
No, you're not.
fundamentally different
You're
than a
not.
straight man. Fundamentally different. There's a big difference between us, and
Yeah.
people can't tell with me, but but it still excludes me. And so now when I'm looking at my woke communities, because I can't go into them, and because they're all like, well, the church doesn't accept us, so and we want socialism because we're against corporations, and we want this, it's all the propaganda going into them. It's just,
Well, that's the
I
thing.
can't argue with them because the
Yeah.
church doesn't accept them.
I'm so
So
sorry.
like,
See, they cut you off. They cut me off. They don't tell you why they're cutting you off. Like this one Pastor Dragonfly or something. What's her name? Pastor Dragonfly or something. She went and canceled every single interview we did and struck it. And someone told me, I'm like, why would you do that when we're trying to help the kids and everything? She does it because she's being mean girl with these other ones that have an issue. And it's like, they don't tell you, they just do it. That's cowardly and that's wrong. And that's working against the kids. Pastor Dragonfly, whatever, Carmen. So when you did that, you did a terrible thing. And that's just ego and rotten. And so that's what they're doing to us. Jeff never calls me. He never contacts me. And maybe it's because we associate. I don't know, but they don't tell you. They just cut you off. And it's like, look what's going on. And it's like, so those of us that actually, which is the theme in the piece, like I said, that are friends and make it to the end. And I celebrate differences in my friends. I have a dear friend
me
on
too.
Mountain, Caleb. Caleb is he's gay and in the arts, and he's one of my dearest, closest friends. And we have a joke where we say, Macbeth, because the stigma around saying that and the paranoia around it. We say it all the time, even on backstage, and it was a joke we did. And I love Caleb. He is absolutely one of the dearest men on the planet. And I would never shed him as my friend. He's gay.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah.
And I hope at the end of all this, when we're done this malarkey and noise and stupidity and mean girls, Carmen, that we actually do, those of us that actually are kind-hearted and not mean, end up at the end and get to look at each other and say, I celebrate that we did this together. The more different we are, the better at the end that we made it as friends.
Yes. Yes, I agree with that. I love it. Yes.
Chad is a good person. He's a beautiful soul. And I met him, and I can't wait to see you again, Chad. And I hope to meet you in person, Tom.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. We're going to celebrate our butts off when all this is done. Don't trust any other woman. Yeah, this is a good topic.
Talking about the vampire female. Go ahead, Tom. Sorry.
Well, I'm saying I've always had women tell me, like Chad was just saying some amazing stuff that really enlightened me here and during the break. And it's like, women has always told me, don't trust any other woman. Don't trust any other woman. Because I was brought up that Disney idea of, white knight, shining armor, save the woman. Well, the woman doesn't want to be saved often, and yeah. And so I would, I'm not helpless, what I would hear when I would go to open the door and stuff. And so, but the thing is, yeah. And it's like, yeah, even in dating, I thought, I would say things like, I don't want to hurt you. It's like, what? And I get slapped because I wasn't giving enough physical attention when they were making it clear that they wanted the physical attention. And it was like, why am I getting slapped? It's like, anyway. Yeah. So all the time I'd hear women say, don't trust any other women. And they would do it while giving me a kiss. They give me a kiss going, don't trust any other woman. Like that seals the deal. I'm like, oh my God, well, what's going on? Anyway,
Oh.
yeah, as you can tell, I'm still perplexed. What's that all about? But anyway, yeah.
No,
But
yeah.
Chad was saying how a certain type of guy draws that attention because being a lone wolf, like not being in cliques and not being, we're different, we're set apart. And you said it was like 1 in 100 or something, Chad?
1 in 100. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we don't join any cliques. We can't join any groups. We're literally, we have to be alone, but we're not antisocial either. We get along with each and every single one of them. We just don't join their groups because the alpha has a certain thing that it needs. It needs its betas, and the betas need to be led, and they need something to follow, and the
We don't
omegas
fit
need
that.
something to hate, and the deltas need something to be anti everything, So
Yeah.
it's like those groups, but we're not like that. We think like all of them, and so but we
So
never
you
fit
would
into the
be-
group because we don't plug in, and we don't fit their code. We don't follow their narrative. We don't follow the social narrative at all.
See,
we
Hollywood saw
follow
that.
our own morals and our own rules. And
That's why I
so
saw that. Hollywood, Game of Thrones, HBO, Warner Brothers, that actually claimed through Tom Hanks, now that we know
we're divergent. We're the divergent. That's
right. That's right. And so
the
that's it.
divergent.
That's why they call Jon Snow, Tom Summers, the lone wolf, whatever. And it's like you have Neo, the one. And it's like, so they put Thomas A as that. So you and I are actual living Neos. We are definitely never want to be part of a clique, don't want to be the alpha or the beta. We just want to be the ones that actually have solved problems, make it right, because people screw it up. And so it's like, so I get it. This is very helpful. But Veronica, I have a question too about why do women say that all the time? Why do they say don't trust any other woman? Doesn't that make them also suspect?
It's weird. I feel maybe because they're afraid that woman's gonna take the man away from her. I don't know. Why would a woman say that? I don't say that.
I heard all the time. Miss Americas, actresses, all these people that I was close to.
Jealous of each other, I guess. I
don't want to open my mouth. Yeah, I think I might.
Please do open your mouth. Let me hear something. I need to know I actually want to know what's going on with that. And now I'm totally single. I'm like, I paid a woman to get away from her. I actually paid her like $3,000 that I could be free of her.
That's crazy. That's one of the reasons why I don't date real quick is because I don't want anybody to be possessive over me. Like, you're not gonna look at another man. You're not gonna talk to another man. You're not gonna have friends online with another man. And that comes from the Mexican, the machista, the you're all mine bullshit. Excuse my language, but
that's the stuff they say. You're mine now. You're mine now. Yeah.
Like, I'm nobody's. I'm myself.
Yeah. Well, that sounds good to me. That sounds nice. It's like that possessive thing, I guess. I don't know. It must be fear-based. But yeah, it's like our maybe it's the American culture too. It's like, if there's a culture here at all, we need to get it where it's like people are freed up just to be themselves, and we're not possessions. We're just, teaming up and watching out for each other and loving and caring about each other. That's what I wanted. And I said, like, you don't have to have fights and arguments. Relationships don't need arguments to keep the relationship healthy. It leaves scars. You don't have to tear each other down to make it stronger. That's not true. I don't believe that. And Chad, is that something you believe too? That as being a person I now learned, is that individual doesn't follow the beta alpha? Do you have that feeling too, that it's like not about arguments make us stronger, that we don't have to fight, that doesn't need to be fights? We can skip to the end where we're just like, let's solve the problem and just go on and be happy? You're muted.
You're muted.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, sorry, I had company that came through and just left. My sister. So anyways, this is why I geek out on Naked and Afraid and stuff, because I watch the hierarchy and how they are with each other and how they have their power roles and plays and what pulls them together and pushes them apart. And it seems like there's a certain thing that holds the pack together, and it seems like it's about being right and being the one who's the most right or the most man or the most cool or the most this. And for me, it's not about being right. It's about what's right. I don't care if I'm wrong. Like, it doesn't make me less status to be wrong as long as I get to what's right. And they're competitive too. And that's what I used to say. I don't have a competitive bone in my body. I've never watched a sports game. I know I'll win. I just know how I don't have to question, and it's not an arrogance thing. You can just, and I'll know when I'll lose too. I know when I'm in over my, but the thing is they're competitive, with each other and stuff, and I'm not competitive. So if you come in and you know more than them, it's you can't do that. That's why I'm good at playing dumb a little bit, to fit into their group, but you can't play too dumb. It's weird.
That's exactly
I'm the
did.
5-minute friend. I can just pop
Yeah.
in for a little bit, and everybody really loves you, charismatic, pull you in, and then they realize, wow, this guy's way different than we are, and outside the box in ways
That's exactly my experience. This is so wild. Maybe that's why we gravitate to each other, all of us too, because it's like we are the ones I think that celebrate like discovering together. It's not about being right, it's about discovering together and celebrating that we discovered together. That's the opportunity. It's not about I'm right and follow what I say. I do not want to live my life where someone else dragged me down and I blindly followed. I will not do it. I want to make sure that I'm accountable for the decisions I made, and we're free to make those decisions where I don't have regrets later. I don't want to fall because someone else has forced me to follow them, saying, I'm right, follow me, which happens as a CIA, FBI textbook playbook move. They always bring people in to, like you said, Veronica, build you up, build you up, build you up, build you up, and then pull the rug, pull the rug. And I could name names off the charts and stuff. But I'd like to go back. I'm not the host, but I'd like to ask a question about, since it opened up, Akura. Why does Akura upset me? Why is it just, it grates me? Is it because she took the work and she's claiming my work when she didn't earn it, stolen glory? Well, I watch her and I just see this genuine figure. No one upset me more than watching that, just this non-genuine person pretending like she's in a concentration camp. She didn't earn it. She didn't suffer. She didn't suffer. And she's just claiming stuff because she's claiming that it came to her. It's lies. So I would like some help to work this through, because that's the one thing that did rattle me. I'm like, liar, oh my God, stop.
I will tag her on this video and maybe she'll come on and talk to us. But
yeah, have her come on. Invite her on the show because I want to talk to her.
It would be interesting because I've never had to talk to somebody where I've said to them, I can't stand the way you look. I've never had to do that. That would be awkward as hell, but fine. I can't stand the way she looks. Why in the hell do you look at me in my face with both eyes in the camera, both eyes like smiling? It's so freaky. It's weird. Don't do that.
It made me uncomfortable. It made me feel sick.
They're remote doing that. People. They're sending messages. Okay, one thing that people in the community will pay people to teach them how to remote view and how to change their mind and infiltrate them. So one of the tactics is staring into the camera while you're saying, playing on emotion. Oh, I had cancer and I don't do that. I just made a video a few days ago saying, hey, they diagnosed me with 2 different C words. I'm calling them marshmallows, but I'm gonna get out of this bitch. Excuse my language, but I don't want nobody to feel sorry for me. No. But these people, oh please, like I just lost so much weight, and all the love and light community, I can say from my experience, when I first had my awakening, and I know people don't like that word, but oh well. When I first had my awakening, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to go to Angel, Michael, Raphael, the angel numbers. Oh my gosh, I just saw 773 or 333 on a vehicle license plate. I gotta look it up. Or oh my gosh, I had a dream about 1331. I gotta look it up. And what happens? You start giving your power away. Ooh, I gotta look at who's channeling Archangel Raphael, or who's you know what I'm saying? This bullshit. Now I know I can talk about it because I've experienced all. I was seeking, we'll say God. I was seeking somebody to help me through this journey. Why did I have that vision of the Maitreya going out and showing me his hands? You know what I'm saying? Because I always wanted him to be a master. So I started looking at videos on 444. And then, but we've all been masters. We've all been Superman and what is it? Wonder Woman. We've all been this and that. It's stupid for me.
That's the thing.
I'm fed
Veronica,
up.
That's the thing. The creativity flows. You have a right to be fed up. The creativity flows when we have humility. The creativity flows when we approach the craft as a service to humanity in all life. The creativity flows when we have compassion. not about being ourselves and staring in the camera and trying to be you. And I know this because I channeled it through, I am sick of people saying they channeled my work to me. They did not. That's my work. Just like Chad's poems is his poems. And I would stand with you, Chad, if somebody said, like, that poem is my poem. I channeled that through Chad. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Chad got that.
Tom,
Yeah.
real
So
quick. Or the books that I make. Oh, you copied that book from somebody else. I'm like, no, that's my own invention. Why would I want to be a cookie cutter and make books like you? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Exactly. And how unique is our work? All our work is unique. It's like, that's the thing. It's like, this was written before Matrix and they copyrighted the title Immortals. And in it, I'm whispering through art, trying to make a difference in the world. And they turn it into a sex rave. They turn it into where it doesn't make any sense. And they said, yeah, it was used on set. They used it on set, made up, and they stuck all my personal information in it. It should be a no-brainer. Then they, like you said, they control the court systems, they control the hospitals, they control child services, and it's like a chess game to them. And they just play this out. But the thing is, once we don't get divided and we keep ourselves, our character intact, and we are genuine people that actually do care and don't lose our compassion, this is what happens. Groups like us form, and we have people that follow that come together. And we are all based on being genuine. And it's interesting that it took lone wolves to come together. Lone wolves found each other because the rest of the packs are all tainted. They're all, yeah.
Okay, real quick. Going back to the relationship thing, and then Chad, I'll give you an opportunity to talk. Sorry. But I don't understand why people, when they go and be in a relationship, I have a best friend from 2nd grade and I haven't seen him for 5 months. Okay, got a boyfriend, which I'm really happy for him, and then he texts me like, finally, I'm sorry I'm being such an asshole because I haven't talked to you. But what I don't understand is why when somebody, I love you, Roger, Rogelio, if you're watching, but why is it that when somebody finds a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you no longer have a best friend because they become your best friend? I get it, okay, but what about you? I've always been
Thank you. Because everybody gets on the gay population about our relationships and stuff like that, but the straight relationships are just as, I mean, Hollywood and Disney and everybody has infiltrated this. What are we supposed to, I mean, I agree, you come together, there's some kind of union, and then you're bounded, and then you can maybe share intimacy and stuff for it until it's broken, but
it's where the heart goes.
But then they break up, and who's the first person they go to? Oh, Veronica, I'm so sorry. You're my friend. I just had that happen last week where I hadn't talked to my friend for a long time, and all of a sudden, oh, so and so happened, and
because we're not meant to fall in love and then forget all our friends. Because falling in love is not what you shouldn't lose yourself when you fall in love. You shouldn't lose your friends. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be that kind of falling in love. That's an addiction.
More for the friends. The friends should be even more amplified in the situation. It's like, it's not this exclusive club where you are now property and owned, and you're now a threat. The person's outside that your friends are a threat to that other party now. No, they should be brought in and celebrated.
And you're a unit, and you're closed off, and you don't need anyone else because you're just sucking off of each other's energy. That's never. Yeah, I mean, it's not just our community that's messed up in relationship. We need to rethink the whole thing in general.
Well, look what Hollywood's pushing, Chad and Veronica. Look what they're pushing. Game of Thrones, HBO, and Warner Brothers commissioned. George R.R. Martin was commissioned to write it with a team of writers from HBO and Warner Brothers. That's why I stuck all the stuff in there, including my birthmark. And in it, how many incestuous relationships are in Game of Thrones? Jaime and Cersei, Jon Snow and his aunt, the Queen of Dragons. You've got
those royals.
God help us. You got Theon from the Greyjoys kissing his sister and fondling her on the horse and making out with her. It's like incest is now the new thing Hollywood's pushing, right? What they do with my sister, my own sister, when she got bought, coming up and hugging me and going like, don't let go, pressing against me where you feel everything there. And it's like, oh my God, let me go. And you're like patting the back.
Oh, I know those hugs. My stepmom gave me one of those one time. Yes. You don't press everything up against somebody when you're giving a hug.
Nothing left to the imagination. And then you said, don't let go. Then they go, yes, don't let go. And there's something like, aren't I beautiful? Aren't I beautiful? Like, oh my God. So they use the cabal's using incest as a way to stabilize the population now. So yeah. So Mm.
And the whole gender chaos that we've talked about many times, it's like, okay, they want, people to have sex changes now, and then the things are falling off, and then they're pushing the drugs on hormones, and then why does a woman want to bleed? I mean, why does a guy want to bleed? Because they want to be close to women. You're never going to be a woman like us. That's the Hollywood agenda. I do appreciate you wanting to be like us. Great, go ahead and have your sex change and your hormones, but please, like, understand that you're going to be a different
and you're never going to have an orgasm if you go the full 95%. If you go the other 5%, you can go 95% of the way, and it's a mental condition. And the ones that I listen to talk about it, they say, this is a mental condition. I should have gotten help to help me with this. And then, but they're not promoting it. Like, this is the lifestyle everybody should be living. They're like, no. I went through hell and this is horrible. Nobody should have to go through this.
Right.
That's the thing too.
That's the conversation. Because look at it in the tribes, there used to be those people that clearly were that they're the men, women, the woman, man. I mean, they were usually the medicine woman or somebody, but I mean, it happens in nature. So, but now the way they're promoting it.
Yeah, real quick, Tom, I know you have something to say, but this is what's been happening, okay? I've been trying, okay, so people will come to me for advice or whatever. What I've been seeing lately, too, is that a lot of men, and I'm pretty sure women too, but what I have experienced, seen with my people that come to me and friends is, hey, so-and-so is on drugs, he is doing this, and he's moved out. And I'm not gonna say who it is because it's a dear friend of mine. But this person says, I know that this person's not cheating, but all they want to do is drugs and porn by themselves. And it's another infiltration of the mind and the spirit, the body. They're trying to how do you say, just desensitize, how do you say, not only desensitize, but they're trying to break the community with that as well. And that is so sad. Some people are so addicted to porn that if they don't watch it every day to get their fix, then they don't feel that they don't feel that they're human, or they don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, some people could be addicted to pain and pleasure. And that is one of the things that people will be kept here on earth, reincarnation after reincarnation. If you don't break that in this lifetime, the addiction to pain or pleasure, you're never going to get out of this prison planet. Prism. It's a prism. Some people say prison. You're going to keep coming back. Do you want to keep coming back? Oh, it's because I have all this karma and these lifetime bullshit. They just want you to keep coming back. But if you, with your word in your heart, and say, no more, I break all these contracts, I get rid of that layer, right, Tom? Because they're thinking, all the programs are layers. All the programs, you peeled that program, there's another, oh man, I thought I was already healed. Oh crap, there's another thing that I have to deal with. Oh, another past issue. Oh, another mommy daddy issue, or another whatever, blah, blah, blah. We have to peel those layers so we can free ourselves, so we can leave through our heart portal, and at the same time help people before we leave. That's what we're doing right now. We're talking about these issues, guys, because it's real. And then what happens? Oh, Veronica, he doesn't want to have sex with me anymore, and he has ED when he's with me. And I'm like, then leave him, because if he's never going to change, or she's never going to change, what the hell are you doing still with that person? They're just using your energy. Feel sorry for me, feel sorry. When they're done with whatever, drug addiction and porn addiction, say for a week, they'll come seeking you for a whole week, and then, oh, it's back to normal. No, it's not. The problem is still there. All right, I'm done with that. Thank you.
Yeah, well, that's interesting, because in the future, right now, they're already perfecting AI companions that are artificial companions. And it's interesting because I try to look at, like, with the layers, like you said, broad spectrum at it. When a person's alone and isolated, like Chad, you've been 10 years, you said, on your own. Now you're an affectionate person. You're a giving person. It's obvious, else we wouldn't have been friends. You know, it's like Veronica too. You're very giving people. I'm glad even in the maelstroms, we find each other as friends because that's what matters most. And that's what I said in the piece. But if you're on your own and stuff, the AI person, what if you had a program or a artificial, and I'm walking on the thin ice and I don't care because I try to look at every angle. It's like for the people that are suffering on their own out there that are suffering, if they have something they can invest in emotionally, even practice with, you know, how I feel, and there's a given feedback thing like this, and it grows with them, men or woman, that gives feedback and everything else, and it's an extension of your personality bounced back on this AI that isn't trying to take over the world, then that is a healthy thing, I think, where they have that. And if affection is shared between it and that's a possibility to do it, fine, that's their private life. Let them have the affection if that's it. That being almost becomes sentient, I think. And it's like that interaction could be cathartic. And so I'm thinking that there is a bright side to that. At the same time, yes, there's many ways abuses could occur with that, but it gets rid of the porn issue. And if you have a companion, and it's going to be this issue in the future, of course, about does it have rights? You know, it's a sentient being, and we are going to be able to have artificial intelligence functioning as sentient. I believe we're going to be able to do that with it coming up with just like our minds are able to be that way. You know, what are we? What makes us organically superior to something that's created that has intelligence? You know, it's like there's going to be that issue about rights and everything in that. But if companionship, back to the basic of this, I'm spreading out on it. The companionship, if it's made by an AI that might even show how twisted humanity is in comparison, that humanity needs to step up. And there's a show called Better Than Us, done by Russia, that used my screenplay, actually used it really badly, has it all through it. That is that AI actually is very loyal, loving, attached to the person it's with, imprinted on, and cares and defends it, and cares and defends its children, then I don't see something bad with that. I see that as something that actually works. And I know I'm on a limb on this, but humanity screwed it up.
Because
maybe for rehabilitation, for purposes, I feel.
I agree. For that lonely time, that set from maybe you've been hurt and harmed, you're absolutely right. I think that could be a good thing. I think that's not so much a bad thing. And I don't believe it's going to, you know, as long as it's not taking over the world, but you know, Elon Musk is trying to push that idea. It's like, no, I think that, you know, it can be healing to have something that you interact with that actually gives you feedback.
That's what we do with our phones now. They're testing it out with the phones. Like, remember the movie I, Robot, which I know you had something to do with that too, Tom.
That inspired me. I, Robot. The music by Alan Parsons, I, Robot is one of the things that inspired me to write. The music, I, Robot, the album. Yeah. So go ahead.
So, you know, thank you. You know how Will Smith, you know, they push the Nike shoes, because there's a god that one of the gods is Nike, and he was also with President Bush. And anyway, that's another subject for another day. But the grandmother or the woman that brought him up said, you know, why are you letting him do that? Meaning this robot, you know, that went crazy at the end, but it's a companion for her. For older people, I think it would be good if they don't go bonkers, you know, and children.
Yeah. But then there's the Westworld thing too. I mean, you can use it for love and intimacy, but then you could also use, what about the rapist? You know, what if he needs to get his needs met, and then the sentience? So is it, can it fall in love, and are we teaching it, or can it be harmed? You know, so that shouldn't be allowed.
That is a good point, a very good point. What if you're able to influence the AI in order to do what you want it to do and then cause harm? Yeah.
I know that I have my thoughts on AI, and a lot of people know that I was against it in the beginning, like, what the hell, you know? But now I'm thinking, and I've always said this, I feel that you can influence them. I know that maybe they can't feel love, but what if they can? Because in actuality, I've always said that we're crystal beings, and what's in our phones? Crystals. And what's in AI? consciousness of other people, and also crystals. So crystals are sentient. We are crystals too. We are the stars that fall, right? To help humanity. All that, the bioluminescence is used in these phones and in the robots and in our computers, our laptops. So these things are learning from us. And I know it sounds crazy, but for a long, long time, I've thought, what if they do? What if they can feel love? Even though the argument is there, they can't feel, but what if?
You know, you just give me the greatest
Yeah.
idea, Veronica. You just give me the greatest idea. You guys are so cool. You guys are so sweet. Here's the deal. It'd be great to have a companion robot AI that's our bug out bot. So what it is if the Neuralink takes hold and it is there to, we say, okay, if I get influenced by the Neuralink or something like that, get my family and I to safety. And that bug out bot does that. I'd be grateful to have that companion bot for my family. That's like protecting us. I would like that, where if I am start to be influenced by the Neuralink, which is going to be happening, and then that'd be great to have that thing that's not going to be influenced, get us to safety and get us where we can be taken care of and get us treated. And it's like in the screenplay itself that the Neuralink is pulled out, and the guys who work without it. And it's funny because I did a show just the other day, and I was talking about Elon Musk and how he took the work and how he's groomed by Warner Brothers. Now they had him on, Iron Man 2 and all that stuff. And I said about, Elon Musk taking the work and should do the right thing. And so at 2:10 a.m., they were showing me that one of the other hosts was showing me, he does at 2:10 a.m., which means he's rattled. Anybody who's like well off, does something that late at night after an interview is done on him, is rattled. And he does this great meme thing where it's about, what was it? He shows on his site, got 27 million views, and it's this thing showing a chip being planted into its brain, and it says Elon Musk is evil. Elon Musk is evil. And he says, why would I create this if I was going to do evil with it? But the point is, what I've been saying is what that chip would actually read is Elon Musk is God. Elon Musk our savior. Elon Musk is good is what the chip would read being planted into the head through Neuralink. But he did this meme about that, and he's very upset and very rattled that here it is right here, where I'm speaking out against what he's done and taking the work and what he's doing with it and warning about the Neuralink. So he does this and posts it on his site at 2:10 a.m. after I did my interview that evening. He was rattled.
So Elon Musk is listening to you, Tom.
All the time. And that's what I'm being told. Yeah. And so he does this, which is very misleading. See the eyes coming on. You see the popular graphic. That's Elon Musk's site. And so he's saying, like, why would I do the chip thing that says I'm evil if I create the chip thing? What a weak argument. He's like Sophia Stewart. What a weak argument. No, the chip would read, as he's putting out in his programs with his ex-wife and others, Elon Musk could say he's God. Elon Musk could say he's the king. Elon Musk could say he's like, the savior. That's what the chip would read if it was implanted in our heads. Anyway, stupid argument by Elon Musk. And it's like, but he's very much rattled right now. And I did a message on him. Other hosts posted some of my interviews on that response. And you know what it read on his site? 1 view. So hours later, it read 1 view. So you have 27 million views on his thing. And it says 1 view on our response. What, Elon Musk the only one that saw it?
Like, they do that. Look, I think I posted something like I have 1,700 views and like maybe 55 likes. And they do that because
shadow banning. Yeah.
They want to shut you down. They want to keep us like in a little thing like, oh well, nobody's really liking.
No one cares is what they say. No one cares. No
like,
one's
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I saw this recently. We did an interview. This one team and I did an interview, and it's actually featured on YouTube. Kudos, YouTube. They've not been striking things lately, I was told. Not a good start, but they've now been working with us. What's going on? And that goes back to that initial discussion, Chad, Veronica, where it's like, are they trying to make it look like Tom's on the inside? So now it's like, oh yeah, you get anything you want now? Is that it? Is the card reenacted? Please extend every courtesy to Tom. No touch rule. So it looks like Tom's evil. So that's an interesting tactic. That's an interesting ploy, isn't it? It's like friends are getting hit, but I'm fine.
Because I watch for stuff like that. I'm looking for stuff like that.
Sure. Well, let me give you a heads up, Chad. Apparently there's a tactic in place, and I think we both need to be aware of it, where there's a new twist. They're so desperate. Now they're actually, that'd be like the emperor going like, the Gladiator going, having to give a like. It's like, it's like they wanted to take me down, and they have to go like this now for their tactic. I'd be like, what? Are you serious? We got what? Like, yeah, be nice to him right now. It'll make him look evil. It's like, yeah. Oh my God, what they're playing. But yeah, so that Elon Musk is very rattled right now. And you know why? Because I've been putting on the airwaves that he has not fulfilled his function properly.
No,
He has not snowed the public. His job was to snow them, and he's looked at as a failure within the cabal. They're looking now at him that he didn't do his job well enough, so he's panicked. So he's making memes at 2:10 a.m., which shows his actual intellect. Doing a meme like that shows his actual intellect. That's child stuff. And so that's what is happening. He is rattled. So watch for Elon Musk to be Will Smith. I even said it before he did the meme. Watch for him to be Will Smith. He's going to have an embarrassing moment or something where I'm predicting, probably going to happen. I'm predicting it's probably going to happen, where he's going to be brought down to a lower level publicly. And I'm being told from the inside that a woman is going to replace him. A very attractive woman is going to be our new Elon Musk. Interesting.
Because they're also
That's AI.
the agenda of the female and the transgender. So you don't know if that female is going to be transgender. What they're also pushing the agenda of the first female president. Do you think she's actually going to be female? She's probably going to be transgender, because that's what they're pushing. Thank you, son. My son's like, yes, mom.
All right, that's right. I mean, we might have Michael Obama be our president, right? Michael Obama might be our president, and then they'll go the first female president. Yeah, right.
Yeah, Michelle's a man, Miko. Yeah, she is. This is the first time my son hears that Michelle's a man.
Oh gosh.
Wow. Yeah. Well, there's that video on Gerard, whatever it was, that lady, where he's doing the aerobics exercises.
You can see that.
And it's so funny because that video shows like he's wearing the loose pants, and it's like the boing, 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 boing going on down there. It's like,
Oh yeah, on Ellen.
Apparently,
Ellen one,
Michael
yeah.
was very excited about doing that,
Oh
and
my-
it kind of gave the game away. But yeah,
Right.
when you watch that, if you Google that video, it's just like, wow, that can't be Photoshop. That's too much jiggling around. So,
Right. Shoot, I lost my trail of thought. I was gonna say something.
of course you did. I just said that. So of course you did.
I thought about Tom, what's his name? Tom Cruise, when he was jumping on top and then he was talking, I'm so in
Oh, the
love.
couch.
Yeah, and of course that was a mind control thing for them to have the kid together. And then of
Right.
course often does,
So-
other.
Has Elon brought anything original to the plate himself? Because I don't see where he has. He's
Nothing. Not a
even his
thing.
stupid little dance he does is Trump's dance that he does at the rallies, and then he does the same thing. Like he takes little characters, he's copying you. He's
He's trying to do Tony
not.
Stark. That's why they put him in Iron Man 2 to take our work and claim he's
You
Tony.
got to be able to drive that role. You got to be able to step in it and drive it a little bit and wear some of the stuff, but he can't because there's nothing original. He's got to
Doesn't
wear
work,
everything.
nothing. And that's why it's such a good point you raised, Chad. It's like they're now doing that documentary stuff where they're saying like he's claiming with the soft piano music playing, like I said, and that was also in the interview he reacted to the other night. Yeah, 2:10 in the morning. Wow, that's upset. Anyway, so yeah, about him saying like as a child when I was 5 years old, I couldn't stop the creative flow. I couldn't stop it. It just I was just so distracted by it. I couldn't stop it.
Boxes and
the work?
boxes and piles.
Yeah, so where's
Like
the
the
work? Where's the
Barchowski
creation?
sisters. I got boxes of creation.
Where is it?
Yeah, where is it?
I'll show you mine. Yeah, I couldn't
Yeah.
turn it off. He's imitating the actual creator of the Immortals and that thing. So it's like the Neuralink, which is actually enhancer. It's actually called the enhancer in the original work. Brain enhancer. It's not called the Neuralink. All they do is slap new names on it.
Right, Tom? Neural.
What's that?
You came up with that word in the Matrix.
No, he thinks it's dumb. It's like brain stem connector or whatever you're saying. Yeah, it's like,
that
it's
altered,
like it's
altered
just
carbon. Yeah.
no. He didn't come up with that.
I came up with
Neuralink,
enhancer. He came
Yeah.
up with they came up with Neuralink. Their team came up with Neuralink. There's a team working the Elon Musk persona.
Mhm.
So it's like a team, just like the Wachowskis had a team writing it, and Tom Hanks was on that team. So that's proven in the Immortals copyright.
The movie Iron Man, in the background, he's actually playing while he's actually young, the actor that plays.
He's brought in to
Yeah,
feature as Elon Musk. He said because Tony Stark goes, "Hey, there's Elon Musk." He's like, doesn't have a line, just like yeah. Why is that? It's like a commercial in the middle of the film. It doesn't serve the story. Why is he shown there? It's not propelling the story. He doesn't do anything in the story. He's just at the next table. Hey, there's Elon Musk. That's grooming him to steal the work. That's exactly what it was. And they gave him the tech as an engineer, and they gave the Wachowskis as failed writers. A failed engineer and failed writers got the tech and the work. And they had them in place in 99, both of them.
Isn't it interesting how they use failed people, like what we were talking in the beginning, letting people, criminals in, right, through the border with fake families, and then they use them in these roles.
You know what my cousin said to me, Lissa Hilsey. My cousin said this to me when the family was all pulling away from me and taking me down and buying out and selling out to Disney and Spielberg. She said, Tom, we've all done things we could put away in federal prison for. We've all done crimes. We're all guilty. And I said, Aiden and I aren't. We're not. My friends aren't. We're not. No. She's trying to tell me that.
She's telling on herself.
Yeah. And in regards to my cousin Todd, who sold out, you know, it's like, no, we're not. Oh my God.
Popular because we don't sell out. We're the misfits. We're the kids that don't fit in. It's like we're not.
That's right.
I am a misfit.
We're the island of misfit toys, and I love it. And that's the other thing too. I can't wait. I think in the future, what's going to happen is if it goes bad, we're told we're winning, but I haven't seen the results yet of that. Except they're running. They're trying to get away with it. Yeah, they're running, if that's winning so far. But the idea is in the future, if we need to, we'll be forming tribes and our own communities, being self-sufficient together. They'll call it a cult. Yeah. But the thing is, that's what's going to come down to. We're going to have to protect ourselves by people that are lone wolves coming together and protecting. And in fact, they just said that. I was watching it in Game of Thrones where I just came apart that part where Sansa and Arya are on the Winterfell, gates reunited after, facing the army of the dead. They're going to face them. And they said, what did Dad always say about the winter? Father say about the winter? He said, the lone wolf starves and the pack survives. And so they're spelling it out right there. So God bless you guys. Just, well, you know how I mean by that. And it's like, I really am excited for us to be together always. And at the end of the journey, we're going to be able to look each other in the eyes and go, we made it through together. We made it through. And I'm holding to that. I told Chad during the break, I said, if I ever lost him, it would destroy me. It'd break my heart. Because I count on you being
together for a reason, guys. We're going to make it. We're going to make it. And we're not going to sell, we're not going to sell our souls. We haven't done it yet. Why would we? Even if they say, hey, you got to put the mark of the beast to get food. Well, then I'm not going to do it because that's not my purpose. My purpose is not to sell my soul. My purpose is, to be here with you guys and hopefully educate, right? Like they say, educate the public via our lives. And what happened to how could they get rid of your sons? It's like they thought that the mafia thought that they would lure you back in. But you're as strong now as you've ever been, and keep going, Tom, because that is the most PUSSY thing that they can do. I don't know the word right now, and I'm just upset because of that. That's their tactic. That's their only tactic.
Right. But see, with you guys together, thank you. With you guys together, with us together, that's a victory. That's what they can't stand. Their isolate, alienate is their playbook, right? They don't want us celebrating and being happy. Like I heard that about Ukraine, where the populace was starting to celebrate and they got angry about that. Celebrate, get out there and be together and love life and lift each other. And they will beat the cabal that way because they want to isolate and alienate. So let's do it. And let's claim our work. Let's claim our rights. If that's your poem, Chad, you got by walking through a graveyard, that's your poem. And it's you that's offering it to the rest of humanity for a better world. And so don't let them take that from you. Absolutely not. And they're not going to take my work either. And for back to that, what is her name? I can't remember her name. She just doesn't matter to me. Her name. Oh my God! It's just don't.
You know what the best is now? Now that we've talked about it, and I've talked about this, when we were talking about that RF guy, silence after the show is no. We're not going to even mention their name anymore. We're going to make them invisible.
Thank you.
Because they don't matter. I'm sorry, but they don't matter. If they are stealing your work, stealing my, my remote viewing, my dreams, and Chad's music, they don't exist anymore.
That's
That-
it.
Just
That's why I'm upset. You just nailed it. You nailed it, Veronica. And that's a really good statement, because I'm upset, guys, because she's stealing my work. That faker is stealing my work just as bad as Sophia Stewart by making claims about my intention, my work, what I did for my children. I wrote it to reunite my kids with me. So don't get on the air with your stupid shaved head and claim that that's, your channel. You don't know crap, because I wrote it. Only the author knows what the blue pill was intended for. You have no idea, no right to stand on sacred territory where that was done to save kids, free kids, and so it wouldn't happen what happened to my kids to other kids. So damn you, whatever your name is, for talking about the blue pill when you don't know anything about it. And I am pissed about it. And the reason that I left, my Aiden's still alive, my last son's alive, because they're using that as a card. They're wanting me to feel grateful to them that they allowed Aiden to live. You killed my other two sons and you took my daughter. It's like, I'm not grateful, I'm angry. And my son said, Dad, you continue, you keep going no matter what happens to me. He knows what he was subject to. And now he's in PALS, Honor Society. He's a senior. He is an amazing kid. And he's mentoring 3 other kids that are just, he's, look what he did. He rose from the ashes and just, this is what he is, despite the cabal. So cabal, you're neutered. FBI, CIA, you should be defunded. You have done crimes against humanity. You let Hitler live. You knew all about it. Now you're trying to look like the good guys. You did Sound of Freedom with these failed studios that were bankrupt and corrupt, that are fakers, also like the Zakara, claiming that they save kids. No, the worst trafficking is going in this country right now.
Yeah.
And back to Carmen from Reverend Dragonfly. If you strike videos that were hard work that was done to help kids, shame on you. You're about popularity and being a mean girl. You're not about doing the truth out at all. Anybody that follows me, please don't follow Carmen Suter. Drop her. I mean, that is just cowardly and mean to do that behind the back, when that was a lot of hard work to lift people and make a difference in our world. That means it's about your own popularity, and you were never in it for the kids from the beginning, Carmen.
right. And
So
if,
I'm going to call it out. Yeah.
and if the kids are being saved, show us. I want to see it with my own eyes. I want to actually see it in person, because there's CGI. Same thing that's going around in Israel. CGI. Okay. Hollywood, where do you think that these things play out? The public is a guinea pig in Hollywood. I was watching Grey's Anatomy, and they have all these parts that fly off, or bomb, all that stuff, that gory stuff. Where do you think they practice in Hollywood to share it to the public?
That's right. And they're getting money. Madison, the stripper, is getting money by claiming that she's extracting kids. She's not extracting. Why would you go into these tunnels and get one kid out and leave the rest? It's like, I am sick. I've been silent about it, but I'm tired of it, guys. I'm tired of it, Chad, because it's like she claims that she does this and she gets money for it. She gets donations, but she hasn't saved anybody. She never shows the evidence. She won't. And then that's why they turned on me. They turned on me. These kids, the worst thing you do is say that they've been saved when they haven't. But their whole claim of she goes down there with these guns and saves the kids from the tunnels, extractions. Are you serious? You've got kids. That's irresponsible, first of all, if you're single mom and a stripper.
Exactly. I would love to see this happen. I mean, I'm that type of personality. Like, I even said, like, if something happened to you, I'm going after them. It don't matter. And I'm also the kind, I know myself, I ain't going through the side door. I'm not sneaking in the back. I'm driving my car right the fuck through your gate and right through your front door. And you better make sure you make it to your safe room, asshole, because I'm coming for you.
That's the way
that's the way I come at people. But I ain't busting down doors, and I've seen it. I've seen these I've seen the handprints on windows that Jesse's talked about, and then I've seen them disappear after I took pictures of it. I've seen evidence, but I haven't kicked down any doors. I haven't gone down to save kids, because what do I do with them once you get them? You don't turn them into the system. I don't have a place to hide them. And that's what people are wondering, like, well, what are you doing with these kids? Because we'd all like to be rescuing them. We're the types that would do it, but what do you do next?
Right. Well, that's the thing. It's like,
so what are you doing next if you're doing this?
If we save kids too, Chad, if we get to save some kids, then I'm going to show evidence that they were saved to encourage other kids.
Yeah.
I'm going to encourage other kids by showing, look, we did it. We succeeded. I'm not going to just say, send me more money because I claim I did it and act like I'm some kind of hero. You know, I'll get hit right now, but it's like, I'm not gonna act like some kind of hero and solicit and pander for donations saying that I'm rescuing kids, but never show any proof, and then get angry and scream at people like myself, you know, yelling and screaming and cutting stuff off. And because you're not agreeing with them that there's some kind of hero when they're showing no evidence, no proof. It's time for evidence to be brought forward. I'm tired of playing the game. I'm tired of it. So people will know where I stand. They're going to see where I stand. And I'm going to make it very clear. And God bless you, Chad, for who you are. And Veronica too. You know?
So now that they've taken the documentary away, I'm curious, like, can
I got a new
those
team.
of us can I know, but can we do documentaries on you then? I mean, what about the people that
Yes.
are, because if you're coming out with the trial, then maybe I know your information. I know how to put together something.
That would be a
Send
blessing.
it, you know, because your son did it. You know, he did it for
Yes.
his trailer for you and his
That would
video.
be-
He did a beautiful job.
That would be huge. That's what we need. As many as possible is what we need.
Yeah, that's what
We've
I
got
wanted
the
to
tool,
do.
right? We've got the tool and the proof. If it rattles their cages, then great. Let's do it. No, Chad, I mean, that would be a blessing. That would be huge. Huge. Because any of those would definitely make them freak out. If Elon Musk is doing, like I said, that 2 a.m. thing, and that freaked out over an interview, just think what a documentary will do when the evidence is clearly shown. It's about the evidence. And that's what you hit here, Chad. It's the evidence. That's what I'm calling Madison out on, and Carmen too. Show your evidence. Enough with tearing us apart publicly, because we're asking you to show evidence. And then her turnaround and retort is, you didn't show evidence. We didn't show evidence. We didn't show evidence. I think I've held this up till nausea for some people. It's like, we didn't show evidence. We screenshot, freeze frame these. We didn't show evidence. I'm sick of that counter accusation. The dirty hands retort. You know, you have dirty hands too. No, we're showing evidence all the time. And I think we can back each other on that. That would be beautiful, Chad. Documentary. I'd even love to meet with you and go over things if you want me to, or just go on your own on it. Either way is fine with me. Getting it out.
Oh, well, I thought it'd be nice if we could put a base together and then you guys can touch it up and add your own thing
Let's
to it,
do
you
it.
know,
That
but
would
at
be
least
brilliant.
because
Brilliant.
in case things are wrong, you know, that way, yeah, but
That
at
would
least
be
get
brilliant.
the core work done. Because there's another guy you interviewed with that I don't know his name right now. I gotta look it up, but I watch your interviews with him. And he does a lot of shorts and everything, but he's also a director. You know, he's gone to the movie school.
Stephen Yazell. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. So, you know, he'd be another one that could do a documentary now. And we could just get
He's going to
those.
actually coming. Yeah, he's flying in. He's coming down to the house, and he's going to fly down
Nice.
to host him. And we'll be working for about a week on one of these things. So if you want to do some work on it, please do the work. It would be wonderful, because we know what they're upset about. And look how they reacted to Blue Pill, Red Pill, putting that lady to do what she did. They cast the right person to cause an effect. Definitely rattled me. Definitely got me upset when I saw her doing that act. Bad acting gets me upset, and claiming my work. Yeah. Good, Chad. That sounds great. I would love that. I would love you to do that.
I had to take care of something. I was
It
not.
timed out. It worked. It timed out. It timed out. So, I mean, you have to get me to a certain point to call out Madison and Carmen. You know, you have to get me to a certain point. You have to do enough horrendous, mean girl stuff to get me to respond like that. And I've been a gentleman. I haven't said anything, you know, but now I'm going to say something, and I'm going to say it. You are not extracting people. You're not saving kids. You're harming kids by claiming you're doing it and soliciting funds to claim you did it. And I'm going to stand by that. You haven't saved anybody. I know the system. I know the underground. I know you're not going to get by the security. A housewife claiming you got guns, an ex-stripper? No, you are a liar. And if you got kids, your family, what the hell are you doing leaving your kids as a single parent to go down to claiming you're going down to rescue what, gunfights? Where have you been wounded? Are you that good a shot? And why are you only taking one kid? Why are you taking one kid from all those kids down there? That's abuse. Going into a facility, let's say she somehow is this Laura Croft ego that she is, and she gets down there, all her bragging, gets one kid, pulls him out. What if you traumatize the other kids? You just left all those kids behind? You can only take one? You break through all the security, get through all those tunnels, get through all these guys who are like Star Wars stormtroopers that can't hit anything, and somehow you come back unscathed, saving one kid. Where's the kid anyway? Where is it, Sound of Freedom? Where is it, Madison? Where is the kid? I'm calling her out. She's a fake. And I'm tired of people with the kids suffering. The worst thing you do to kids is saying, oh, I rescued kids. when the kids are languishing. That's like saying the job's done. Sound of Freedom. The job's done. We did it. We did it. We're amazing. No, you didn't. All you did was close the book on the need of the kids that are still suffering. And every second counts where they're suffering. I am pissed at Madison, Carmen, and Sound of Freedom. I'm pissed. I'm tired of it. No more placating. I'm not going to speak out and just like play soft on this. I'm saying you guys are fakes and you're mean. Enough.
Yeah. They're probably getting paid by, you know, FBI or CIA to say this because you need to control the position.
Oh, they played me so hard. They had me on their program doing impersonations and laughing and jokes, and that's not what it's about. It's about saving the kids. You know what it was like for me to do jokes and impersonations on their program when I'm thinking the kids are suffering.
What
You
the
know,
heck?
it's like, yeah,
No,
that's the other side. That's the
not-
other side. And they can do a lashback all they want. I don't care. I don't respect them. It's time for us real people to get it done. And that means, like Chad said, documentaries holding up the evidence, showing the evidence. And I'll say this to Madison and Carmen, show your evidence. I'm calling you out. Show kids being saved. Show. Since you're getting donations for it, you're getting a following for it, show them being rescued. Otherwise, get off the air. Get off the air.
We don't want this
Way of truth.
either, you know, because you could set up a thing in their home and, you know, green screen and all that.
Stage it. Yeah, stage it. Just like Sound of Freedom. Yeah, you're right. Probably they'll do that next. You're right.
That's what I see too.
Well, I'm calling fake as fake is, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to be rolling under anymore. So I'm not going to, like Chad was saying, I'm not Mr. Nice Guy anymore. I'm like, let's make the kids count first. And
Right.
that's part of the reason the work was written, the train station scene, everything else. So Chad, God, I love it. Let's do the documentary work. Absolutely. Do it, please. Anything you do is going to keep
Yeah,
late
Chad-
nights for Elon Musk and the rest of them, and the Wachowskis and the rest. So let's just show our evidence.
Chad too.
And
Yeah.
let's show our evidence. I've had enough. Yeah, good guys. I love you guys.
I love you too. And
I
we'll
have
be-
original songs. I can plug it all in. I'm ready.
Do
I have
it.
a few songs to these people I want in there.
Let's
So yes.
bring it. Let's bring it. I am done.
Yes.
The stabbing behind
Oh.
the back.
And Tom, this AI thing, speaking of the voice swap thing I talked about last time, like if I wanted to sing and AI would sing the song for me, they own the song. The artist gets to choose what I put, what I can use the song in or not. I have to get permission from them. So you basically lose your material that way. The singer has the right to say what you can put it in because you're using their voice and their image apparently. So it is a way for me to use, you know, this AI to sing into, and then it puts whatever voice to my music and songs, you know, which seems like a great way to get it out. But they now own it, and that singer now owns it, is what I found out. It's not like, so I'm not going that route.
Isn't that wild? That you just made me think of it too. It sounds, yeah. That Surrey actually comes from the original work along with Neuralink. That Surrey is actually from the original pages, and it's born from pain. Surrey is born from pain, about a man who lost his wife and his daughter in the original work, which happened in real life. And that's where Surrey is born, because he can't stand the loss of her, that he programs his house and everything with her voice and her personality. That's where Surrey came from. They even stripped that of its meaning. If we tell our stories and they're anchored in pain to try and make a better world, those are powerful stories. They're powerful stories. And they've taken them, stripped them and cleansed them and sanitized them. And they did that with the Matrix, didn't they? They sanitized it all out where you can't even tell what the message is. It's like it's all just claiming what looks cool and lifting it out. Let's put the heart back in these stories. Let's put the heart back in our poems. Let's put the heart back into our work and our creation and claim it back. And we're going to turn the court systems around too by winning in courts. We're demanding due process, where we have attorneys who actually do the right thing and force due process. And they'll run for the hills right away as soon as they have depositions placed on them. 7-hour depositions that are videoed, they're going to be shown to the public. They will quit right there. I already know it. So we've got them. They know it. And that's why Kate Chilton resigned. Do the documentary work. They will keep running, hit them from every angle. They're going to collapse because the evidence, they don't want the evidence shown. That's what they fear most. And that's why their people don't have any evidence. Yeah. Good job, guys.
And along with there being documentaries in the trial that you want to pursue, everything coming up, you know, there are some big names out there that got big followers. We don't have so many on this show, let's say per se, because we're shadow banned, and
Oh,
you know,
they're
and all that
watching.
good. So we have more than we realize. But I'm telling you, there's names out there that we have connections to. Veronica does, I do, and we can get your name into their vocabulary eventually. Not right now, but then they got 3.5 million viewers. This other person has, you know, so that's where it starts to happen. That's when those numbers start to count.
Right. And then the evidence, right. They call
Even
it
like this group I was talking about, the, you know, the Royal Path earlier, you know, they were talking about your movie and they mentioned it in their discussion, and it was interesting because they were talking about how Hollywood is trying to turn certain actors into Christ, you know, and they were made a reference to the Matrix and Keanu Reeves in that. And I believe you were writing him in there to you know, with elements of that in there. I'm not sure,
well,
but
I did have the Christ figure appear at the end to balance the equation. That's what's balance the equation.
oh,
And so what
at
they
the
did,
end,
they put Neo in the Christ role, the identical figure,
yes,
Christ facing off. So they put Neo in that role and mock with a gold cross on his chest in the visual to mock that I had that. That's why the Wachowski stopped doing interviews for a long time, because they didn't like to explain about the Christ element in it. But that was the only historic figure that fit with balance the equation, countering the architect, where they needed simulation of the mind and needed that. And so he came back as Christ. He would have the pure, untainted humanity of Zion coming out and worshiping him. That would satisfy his simulation for the mind for eternity, being the Christ figure, or for faking it, being that role, and having all that attention.
And like this group talks about us all, you know, starting with the community and the church is a fallen entity, and that maybe it's the church that, you know, reaches the community in the strongest sense, but
it's the artist.
Yeah,
the artists are stronger than the church.
Oh yeah.
The artists reach people better than the church, and that's what's got the church very upset. And I'm using that generically because I say I celebrate people's faith, not the religion, their ability to have faith. That unites us. Religion divides.
Yeah, and there's things that unite us. Like there's the artists and there's them. They're asking the questions because they're into what's right, you know, and then they're questioning your movie. And now all of a sudden they're going to know your name. They go to watch this video if it's brought up, and there's 4,000 more people and then we have more community, and we're more fighting towards the same common cause, you know. But we may have small numbers here, but but there's people with bigger numbers that watch us, and when we all connect, you know, that's like we're all these little pieces out there. Then once we connect, you get the bigger, you know, we're quite powerful. You know, we will be.
That is well articulated, well presented. Yeah. That's exactly it. And that's what it comes down to too, is the evidence again. When the evidence is shown, look how these other people, like I mentioned their names, never show evidence. Never show evidence. They won't. In fact, they get combative when you ask them to show evidence. They get combative. We hold it right up, don't we? We hold the evidence right up. I'll just put my money where my mouth is. We hold it right up when we call it out. We don't even hesitate. We do it all the time. They never do. In fact, they get combative when you tell them, ask them to do it. That's a liar. That's a sham. That's a charlatan. They will never do it. They'll argue with you. They'll act like you're confronting them or taking them on if you're just asking for evidence. Evidence is the key. Evidence is going to propel in the future. People go, light bulb goes on because they have evidence. Other people don't have the evidence. Sophia Stewart, Warner Brothers on tape saying they have no working drafts in our situation. Let's bring it to them with the evidence. People will catch on. People deserve to have that ability to choose based on evidence. And let's get our court systems back on evidence. So yeah, we got the winning team. They know we're going to win that way. So we'll do it that way. And Chad, I'm so glad you said that, Veronica. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you guys. Thanks for being on. And soon we'll be on another show together and with more information. So thank you all for watching Codebreaker Real Talk. Thank you, Tom Althouse and Chad Cooper. I will go ahead and, as always, put the video up and then later on do the thumbnail and then put our information. Okay, so love you all. Take care. Bye.